Existing NFTs and decentralized storages do not have full lifecycle protection. Introducing EDFS, the unification of real-time security and convenience, sharing and privacy, openness and restriction. Protecting on-chain data with encrypted files for all digital assets. Full lifecycle authority of digital files in all formats. Rent, monetize, encrypt, distribute, share. Download the white paper and visit edfs.io to find out more. Existing NFTs and decentralized storages do not have full lifecycle protection. Introducing EDFS, the unification of real-time security and convenience, sharing and privacy, openness and restriction. Protecting on-chain data with encrypted files for all digital assets. Full lifecycle authority of digital files in all formats. Rent, monetize, encrypt, distribute, share. Download the white paper and visit edfs.io to find out. Existing NFTs and decentralized storages do not have full lifecycle protection. Introducing EDFS, the unification of real-time security and convenience, sharing and privacy, openness and restriction. Protecting on-chain data with encrypted files for all digital assets. Full lifecycle authority of digital files in all formats. Rent, monetize, encrypt, distribute, share. Download the white paper and visit edfs.io to find out more. Existing NFTs and decentralized storages do not have full lifecycle protection. Introducing EDFS, the unification of real-time security and convenience, sharing and privacy, openness and restriction. Protecting on-chain data with encrypted files for all digital assets. Full lifecycle authority of digital files in all formats. Rent, monetize, encrypt, distribute, share. Download the white paper and visit edfs.io to find out more. Existing NFTs and decentralized storages do not.
Hello everyone, welcome to the first Ask Me Anything session, AMA by EDFS, Encrypted Decentralized File System. We are live from Dubai at the moment, and today we are very happy to welcome our guest speaker, Dr. Marwan AlZarouni from the Dubai Blockchain Center, the CEO and the founder. And we have Dunstan Teo, our co-founder and Chief Strategy Officer of EDFS, and myself, Rico Pang, the co-founder and CEO of EDFS. Hey guys, how have you been?
Awesome. Good. Yeah, extremely busy. I think both
of us are so excited to have you here today. Dr. Marwan, do you mind to share with us some of the latest things that's going on in the Dubai Blockchain Center?
Yes, so we actually have a monthly class for government departments that runs for 3 days, full days. The first day we discuss cryptocurrencies, and the second day we actually discuss some of the use cases, both the successful one and the failed ones, and the reason why some succeed and some fail. And on the third day we discuss the future of the cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, where it's going, what are the new trends in it, and also we have guests coming over and discussing their projects as well.
Great, and congratulations on your new role with the Digital Dubai recently.
Thank you very much. Very exciting. It's an amazing role and an amazing initiative by the Dubai government, and I'm looking forward to digitally transforming the city.
Do you mind to tell us more about the new role and what does it do actually?
So we're in the beginning stages of the entity, so we are exploring where the gaps are. We're trying to find the status quo, what are the actual numbers that are now in Dubai when it comes to digital transformation, entrepreneurship, the state of our infrastructure, access to talent, as well as funding, and other areas where digital can fill in the gaps and remove the inefficiencies that we have in Dubai to make Dubai the #1 city in the world from all aspects of life.
So basically, Dubai is looking at digitizing life in every aspect.
Not digitizing life for the sake of digitization, but
right.
Digitizing life for the user experience and the life in Dubai when it comes to things like safety, happiness, even logistics, moving in Dubai, mobility, everything, access to services, access to people, connectivity, everything.
Great, because I just recently got my UAE residence, and
congratulations.
Finally, and it was actually a digital ID, which can only be used on an app. So I think that's a new thing that has recently happened in the UAE itself.
Yes, UAE Pass is one of those amazing initiatives in the UAE, and it's a life changer for a lot of people. You don't have to go to a government department to fulfill a service. If you have a fine or a fee you want to pay, you can pay it straight from the app. You don't have to create a login and password for every government website. It's one single login.
Great. So I think digitizing assets and digitizing, data is gradually going to be more important in terms of the privacy, protection of the data, and so on and so forth.
Yes, and I think privacy is at the center of what we do, and the digital identity is part of a sovereign identity package and a decentralized identity ecosystem that is created around it.
Great. So I think it comes to our topic today, and about the encrypted decentralized file system, EDFS. I'd like to invite Dunstan as the Chief Strategic Officer to share with us more about it.
We have a system, an encryption system that has been matured for the past 15 years. This encryption system has been used in different countries, used in manufacturing. We encrypt data, algorithms and so on in machines, robots, used in banks, used in cybersecurity, and even used in defense companies. So this is actually a mature tech, and right now we have brought that tech and we have built it on a layer 2 on different blockchains. So right now what we are looking at is we are looking to encrypt all the data on different blockchains, and also encrypt the data that goes into file storage like IPFS storage. We have like storage like in Amazon, storage in Google, and so on. So that's the main focus of this tech that we actually are building right now. We already have integrated with the Ethereum network, and now we are building on Matic, and later on we will be building on the other major blockchains out there.
Great, and I know both of you are very big into NFTs. And Dunstan, what do you tell us some of your experience dealing with NFTs in the space?
Well, I started investing in NFTs 3 years ago. People didn't bother too much about it, and I was in CryptoKitties. I was even in Colored Coins, which was the first real NFT on Earth, which is actually colored coins on Bitcoin, the Bitcoin network itself. And then I like to collect stuff. Like I like to collect figurines. I like to collect I like to collect game cards and so on. And then when I saw like NFTs, right, it's a natural progression. I used to make my money from like buying and selling of Magic cards. So and of course Pokemon and so on. So right now when I see NFT, right, it's interesting because it's not just digital things. It's also things that could actually interact with games and so on, which is what I like. Yeah.
At the same time, I know that you are also incubating quite a few, NFTs platforms.
Correct.
Do you want to share some of them?
Yeah. So we have incubated quite a few NFT platforms, and we are currently incubating quite a few NFT platforms. Like a couple, I've like invested heavily in the blockchain space. I've had my investments in many of the early NFT platforms, and also in games that have NFTs itself. So right now my main focus are platforms that actually have strong IP, because actually in order to have good like NFTs, right, you need good IP. For example, like we saw like Dapper Labs getting into soccer, getting into NBA and so on. So right now one of our NFT platforms, EX Sports, actually went heavily. I shall not share too much, just stay tuned for what's gonna happen. We also have other NFT platforms. We have this Fantasy League NFL game created by the founder of Madden, which is Madden of EA Sports. So we even have Jerry Rice in the team. So these are a couple of interesting projects and companies that we are involved in.
Great, and Dr. Marwan, share your experience about NFT with us too.
I'm not that early into NFTs, but I got introduced to some of the artists that were doing crypto art first, and then I started, getting interested in those, and then that was very quickly shifting into NFTs from just crypto art, which is art with Bitcoin, Ethereum logos built into them, and that was how I shifted to NFTs, and I was hooked on very quickly because I got the concept, and a lot of people had the difficulty understanding the value of NFTs, and even before those we were selling something called stable art, which is each piece of art was 1 Bitcoin.
Wow.
And this was pre-NFTs.
Wow.
So we got the NFTs. I was like, okay, This is a natural progression. Again, just like you saw the financial, incentive program or value in collectibles like cards with Magic the Gathering, with Pokemon and others. It's the same idea. You are investing not only in the art itself, but the idea and the narrative where this art comes from, how rare it is, and you can prove, provenance of something. And this is a huge thing. And people don't, and apart from that ecosystem, don't understand the value of that ecosystem. And for us, it just clicks straight away because we are living that, we are collecting that, we know how it's going to be in 1 year, 2 years, or even sometimes in days after you buy it, because the first drop is where the money is created. So it's a natural thing to have.
Great. So I think all of us witnessed the growth and hype about NFTs, non-fungible tokens, over last year onwards. I think the hype came true over the pandemic season. And the NFT hypes continue this year with all kinds of apes, stones, cats, so on and so forth being launched, and the prices shot up crazily. I mean, like, people couldn't believe that this is actually a collectibles that's able to be, stored and transferred on a wallet. And the value is exponentially increasing, and this captured a lot of hype by a lot of people, NFTing their music, NFTing their collectibles, NFTing their IP, intellectual property. However, NFTs being NFTs, most of people do not understand the problem with NFTs. Dr. Marwan, do you want to share some of the problems that is still,
I don't know the technical term for it, but there is a gated kind of communities for NFTs. When you buy something, if you take it out of that gated community, it can be forged.
Right.
And this is a very huge risk. We've seen a lot of, I don't want to name artists or projects that this happened to, but we've seen it in the industry that somebody will take something from one platform and then sell it as if it is a genuine NFT on another platform, and there's nothing you can do about it until now. And people are trying to scramble and find solutions for this outside the gated community kind of solution. But there's huge potential for solutions, and there are different ways we can handle the solution. I think only time and talent and imagination will solve all these kind of issues with NFTs.
And Dunstan, what do you think of the problem now with the non-fungible tokens?
Well, the biggest problem is it's called non-fungible tokens, but actually only the smart contract is non-fungible. The data, like the audio file, the visual file itself, like the JPEG, the videos, or even the game assets of it, are actually fungible, because these are actually not stored together with the smart contract itself, which means that they can be replicated. Anything that can be replicated is called fungible. So actually all the NFTs that I have bought and I owe shit tons of like NFT lands, collectibles and so on, right? So I'm like killing myself by going out in public saying that, for lack of a better word, actually all of them are all in danger, and they are all in a sense worthless in that sense. But let's not scramble and then start selling your NFT. Although I have a couple of cyberpunks to sell, if anybody wants it, let me know. But yeah, but the most important thing is we have a solution. The reason why I'm coming out here to speak about it on like live is because we finally found a solution for the crypto space, for the blockchain space, and the NFT space itself. And this is why I will come out in the open. Beforehand I wouldn't, because yes, my NFTs should have value.
I totally agree. Like I said, it only takes an idea to solve these kind of problems that are there, because like you mentioned, they're disconnected. There is a disconnect between the actual I would say payload and the actual smart contract. So you have to really find a viable solution. I think EDFS and projects similar to it, or try to do another solution, could bring real value into the NFT space.
Yeah, and the awesome thing is EDFS is the first company that actually has the capabilities to do it. So this is actually a good thing, because we are all first movers here. Yeah.
Yes, and this is, as with NFTs, first movers, first drops, first everything is a great opportunity.
Yeah, that's the best, right?
So I think what we are looking at here potentially in the next couple of months, the NFT market will change significantly with more and more technologies such as EDFS being launched in the market. One of the unique selling point of EDFS is that right now most of the NFTs you can only do trades, buy and sell on all the marketplace. And one of the unique feature that EDFS is going to bring to the marketplace is that you can start to lease it out to people at the same time, letting the IP holder to decide on what is the fee structure and code it into the smart contract. And you can start collecting royalty fees, rentals, so on and so forth with this particular asset. At the same time, one day if you decide to sell this asset, the whole contract generating revenues over the time could be transferred to the new owner. So if this is possible in the next couple of months, when EDFS go live, the valuation of the NFTs may even go quadruple or even go multiple times up, because of the valuation itself has generate possibility of other incomes and residual incomes.
Yes. There's a lot of like I mentioned before. The limit is your imagination. The economic system around NFTs is right now is only the use cases we can think of.
Yep.
If the smart contract and the imagination thinks of other ways to monetize, there are no limits. And this could go into like sports, like we mentioned, music, actual IP of inventions or patents. Patents not the best use case, but you can showcase in patents that you were the first one to do this, because there is a timestamp on the blockchain as well. So a lot of these other things, imagination is your limit. I'll give you a very good example. A couple of days ago, some guy came and said, I'll give you a 5-minute or 15-minute of fame on my show, and this show has like 1 million subscribers and he sold that 15 minutes as an NFT. Not only you can use that to claim that, you can keep it and sell it. You can keep it, maybe the show gets 100 million in like 10 years, and then you can use it 10 years down the line. So all these economic models and ways NFTs can be used in is only limited by imagination. Somebody else, I'm sure, tomorrow will come up with a new way to monetize NFTs. So
we recently got involved in the new project. It was so exciting as well. They're looking at bringing the same NFT marketplace and build it in India, for example, and they're focusing on the Bollywood market, artists and celebrities, and it's because the celebrities themselves finding this NFT marketplace so interesting and so fun, and another revenue of monetization, especially in a market like India. So the project name is called Collection, and the founder, the CEO, Abe, has been working very hard and immediately scaling the business from, say, 20 people to more than 90 people now, doing the project. And not only that, they also look into cricket players and all this, sports celebrity that will actually, trying to promote, underdogs as well in their sports arena. So I think the music industry, the entertainment industry, I think even like automobile industry, is looking into this sort of mechanism where much more imaginations and innovations can come out. You want to share some about that as well in automobile?
Yeah, so a lot of projects are doing races, virtual races.
Yes.
But a number of projects are doing virtual and physical, items together as one item. Collections. We've seen this in real life also in NFTs. Collections of items, both physical and virtual, as well as some added features that you cannot unlock unless you buy the NFT. There's a lot of other stuff that enabling mechanism and enabling technologies can be added on top of every NFT, not only immediately but also down the line. There's a very good use case also for passes, like you can get a pass to enter, like Bored Apes, for example. They give you privileges to attend events and that kind of stuff. Gary Vee also did a project where you can get an access to a restaurant usually, or something like this. All these use cases are going to be there. It's only the proof of ownership and things associated with it that have a little bit of friction. Like how do you prove that the same person will not be able to enter the concert 10 times, or say go abuse this feature or access. So these needs to be worked out as well.
So I think similarly for EX Sports, the same concept where someone can buy the NFTs, but because they have implemented the experiential, such as augmented reality recognitions
Yes.
and virtual display and VR, that if the person imitate the move, say for example Sean Garnier's freestyle kicking move and sort of ball the move, and they will unlock more different skill sets using one NFTs. So it becomes a gamification model, skill, talent, discovery experience for the users through the NFT itself. So these are some of the new things that actually was coming out from NFTs marketplace, such as EX Sports.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's also like NFT moments, for example,
Yeah.
is there, the basketball ones. There's also a lot of other collectible card games and collections and things like drops of like a limited 10,000 with rarity built into them and other aspects of scarcity.
Yes.
All these play a value and a role in how unique that NFT is. And a lot of them have utility right now, and a lot of them don't have utility. But I think what we will see in the future is a whole new economic model, not only around utility and rarity of an NFT, but also around other aspects of, for example, combining different NFTs, cross-gaming kind of NFTs, cross-platform kind of NFTs, which we're seeing at least even now.
Yeah.
But it's going to be more and more and more, and then all this stuff will start to disappear, and you will just see the value coming up and the organic growth of this kind of market into a unique world where you cannot distinguish between persona of somebody in the real life and the virtual life. It's just going to blend in to be one thing.
Oh, that would be the most awesome world, man. I mean, I'm a gamer, so I would rather live in the virtual world, like Ready Player One, than like living right now like this, right? So I think something virtual, something both physical and virtual, things that you can touch, and with all the tech that's coming up, different IoT devices, virtual reality, augmented reality, and even the ability to have devices that could allow us to taste. It's crazy when I see tech like that. Like I see people running on omni-track grounds and so on. And then when I see some of these NFTs in like some of the major games that are coming out, I mean, this is a whole new level. Just imagine you have an NFT, a skin of maybe say a Lamborghini, for example, and then having that NFT, right? Whatever games you play that has the same Lamborghini model, and you can keep on using that NFT on all the games itself with that model. I think that's something that will cross all the other different platforms, and these sort of NFTs will start to gain a lot more value.
Yes, I remember we have this event in Dubai. We've had it for 3-4 years, and what we did initially was thought this overlap between the crypto world and the gaming world has to happen, but we didn't know it will happen through NFTs. We didn't know. We just combined gamers with crypto people, and these guys, which are the gamers, didn't know anything about crypto, and crypto didn't know anything about gaming. When we put them together in one room in Dubai, amazing stuff happened, and the likes of these models of economics between the game and the crypto world seemed so aligned that it was inevitable that this would happen. But we were too early, I think.
It is, right? Like in the earlier days, right? The people who adopt like Bitcoin, right, were the gamers, the hackers, and the cyberpunks.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so putting crypto and gamers together is a natural thing. Yeah.
And I'm glad it happened, and I'm glad we have in-game NFTs, because I think this is a natural progression, and everybody wins in this. And at least gamers now have value outside the game where they can cash out. So if your mom or dad tells you, "What are you doing, wasting your time on a game?" It's like, "I'm making money."
I just sold my NFT for like $500,000.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go. I'll bring you milk and cookies.
Yeah.
Continue on.
Yeah, I made more than you in 1 year.
Somebody should do a comic where you do like a mom comes with like a milk and cookies to her sons, like, make me some money.
Give me your credit card. I want to buy some NFTs.
Exactly. Yeah, it is gonna be a changed world, with all this gaming now being a way where the consumers actually pays to play, to a system where we are actually play to earn.
Yeah.
It's a completely different economic model. Everybody makes money, but it's a totally different way. Instead of entertainment, it becomes, an actual profession.
Yeah.
Literally, you get professional gamers, not the streamers. Even streaming, there's a model to monetize from
Yes.
that. This was missing before in gaming. Now it's there. It's natural.
Yeah.
it's
And the
gonna be an
value
amazing
of
world.
this sort of access will increase all the time, and when more and more adopt it, and more people believe in it, it's the same as adoption of Bitcoin. When people adopt and believe and use it, and the value goes up. So I think that is where we are at this point in time in this space, where we are constantly looking for new technology and new solutions to solve our problems in the blockchain space. Since you are an OG in the space, tell us some of the problems that we have in the blockchain space now.
Well, one of the major problems would be like different regulations and governments around the world. Things are always changing and shifting. Of course, I'm glad that Dubai is extremely open, and that's why me and quite a few of the old guards in the crypto space are here, because we see that Dubai government, they are opening up. So another one would be adoption. Like, when I started, people used to call me a scammer because they thought Bitcoin was a Ponzi scheme. I don't even want to talk about my friends and relatives, but yeah, I'm sure now you all know. So yeah, then or they thought that my industry was a scam. So I couldn't even tell my wife what I was doing until a couple of years later, after we got married. Actually a couple of years later after being married.
Wow.
So yeah, so this is always a dilemma, but I'm glad that countries are shaping up. We have countries like Dubai, we have countries like El Salvador, we have other Latin American, Asian countries, and even some European countries, especially the Eastern countries, that are opening up, and soon I would believe that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are gonna be legal, or should I say, are gonna be legal tender in these countries, and that's gonna be something that's amazing. So that's one of the problems. Another problem would be, of course, because our industry is tech and yet finance based, economic based, which means that there are a lot of traditional people who want to step in, and yet when they step in, they try to bring their old values, their old systems in. But we are a new industry, we are a new system, we are a new economic system. Many of these are based on trust and are based on faith in what has been created. So it's no longer what's going on in the current financial world. And of course, we have banks that consistently think of us as a threat and trying to gatekeep us, closing accounts of people who deal in cryptocurrencies, and yet they themselves deal in cryptocurrencies on their own, closing the bank accounts of the crypto companies, and yet they are selling to the crypto companies, and also trying to deal with other crypto companies. So the level of hypocrisy is amazing from the old financial world. So right now, our new world is shaping up, we are growing, and many countries now start to see that we are a force to be reckoned with, and they would like to work together with this innovative new industry. And so that's a couple of problems in the blockchain space.
Great. What about the technical side of things with the current blockchains? I think that is much more interesting and relevant to us today. When we talk about encryptions, we talk about the scalability of the blockchains and the TPS transfer speed among the network. So, Dr. Mama, do you want to share some of your thoughts about that?
I think one of the examples was recently with the sudden rise of Solana. We've seen like the unstoppable cryptocurrency stopped all of a sudden. And this is the tax that we pay in this kind of technology. It is early days, and unexpected growth, unexpected numbers will always cause problems. Even Ethereum with the scaling issues, Bitcoin when we had just close to Segway 2, we had a lot of problems with the transfer fees. Even now, some people argue, even with Lightning, that the fees in Bitcoin are high outside the Lightning network. So it is an over acted on kind of reactive question to ask. People react too much to it, but we had the same problems in the early days of the internet.
Right.
Overreacting to problems that are part of the journey, part of the narrative, part of the growth of this technology. Of course, right now our major problem is scaling and scalability and capacity of the network as well, size of the blocks, all these kind of other speed of the blocks, all these kind of issues will be solved with technology. We had like 95 or 56 baud modems, and now we have 100 gigabyte connections. We'll reach that, but it is going to take time. But we have to go through it, and we have to find the technologies, shift, keep moving forward, keep trying new things, and failure is part of the journey.
Yeah, so which is why we have technologies that we create like EDFS. Now we could actually store the files outside the blockchain and not let it be compromised in that sense. So this is an example of improvement in blockchain technology that the other traditional blockchains didn't have. Right?
Yeah, this next level stuff. It's always going to be this next level, and then the level after, and the level after.
Yeah.
And and any technology like EDFS that moves everything to the next level, it's a huge step in the right direction.
Dunstan, do you want to share with us about EDFS architecture around the scan, which is also quite similar to what we call, in common sense, the CDN network?
Yeah, so actually when it comes to the architecture of EDFS, the important thing is we can actually encrypt any file of any format, which is amazing, but that's because we are not acting fully on the OS layer. We are acting on the base layer, the kernel layer itself, and which also means that we could actually go on any OS, we could actually go on any file formats, we could just encrypt them. So even if your files you store it in, for example, Google, right, which a lot of people have been hacked, they lost their passwords, or they wrote their password somewhere, stream it, a hacker caught onto that password, and so on. So there are a lot of user-based problems that comes from cybersecurity problems, but yet EDFS solves quite a bit of them by encrypting it. So when let's say, for example, somebody actually gains access to a file, maybe an audio file on your Google Drive. So what happens is they would just receive a text, a gibberish text itself. So so this is actually a very good use case, and it helps not just for for blockchain, but it also helps for data traditionally.
So one of the biggest problems we have actually with cloud storage is leakage of information from RAM in the cloud storage provider.
Yes.
So no matter how much they tell you that they're secure,
They are not.
you have to take it a little bit with a grain of salt,
So you still need to encrypt it yourself.
Yeah.
And the way that EDFS is being structured is that you have access to your file via a private key.
Yes.
So you are the only one that has the private key.
So
and hence
unless you put your private key on the Google Drive, which please, for God's sake, anybody that's
Same
on
goes to
blockchain,
your digital
your
wallet,
wallets
right.
and so on, please don't do stupid things like that. Yeah.
We call it pre-internet encryption. So you have to encrypt it pre-internet.
Yeah.
Pre-putting it on.
Don't have it online.
Yes, exactly.
So and the CDN networks of architecture that
So that
EDFS
will be our next phase in production. So after we have
You have to
released,
explain what is CDN.
yeah,
first.
yeah. So that's the most important, right? So CDN is called Content Delivery Network. That is what most of the social media platforms use, which is why like when somebody creates a video or creates a text and so on, some person all the way at the other end of the world, they could stream it immediately.
Live.
So these are called content delivery networks. So we already we already have our base content delivery network, and we are looking during phase 3 to roll out a content delivery network for the different blockchains, which also means that blockchains no longer need to bother about scaling. The content delivery network that is encrypted will do the scaling for them.
Again, that's next level stuff.
Yes, that's
Yes,
next
that's
yeah.
probably coming out in Q4
Yeah.
2022 from EDFS, and we were branding this terminology as the scan, DSAN, which is a new thing, which is not quite similar to CDN, but it comes with another layer of encryption.
Yeah.
And
Again, next level stuff.
next level stuff. Yes. And oh yes, before we move on, I think I should answer some of the questions that came from our Telegram group. The first question is actually by Raya Lucas. What's EDFS and what does eSeal actually do? Dunstan, do you want to answer that question?
Yeah, we kind of answered it already just now, right?
Yes.
So, yeah.
The eSeal is actually an encrypted file
Yes.
that describes the authority of a certain identity on the file.
Yes.
Okay, such as whether the description is allowed, or whether the redistribution to modify the eSeal list is allowed. So it's very technical stuff on the kernel level. So there's also time restrictions possibly being set on it. The restriction on the software environment could be configured by this as well. And yeah, this is some of the technical things that the EDFS tech team has been working on for the last 15 to 16 years, from a business to business environment, and now putting this whole tech into a layer 2 encryption protocol on the blockchain enables all the other different major blockchains on L1 to be integrated, and then getting their files encrypted on it.
Yeah,
so
finally nobody can right click my my CryptoPunk and
copy it.
And copy it.
put it
Save
on,
as.
yeah, save as, and put it on another
profile picture.
not just the profile picture, put it on another platform and then sell my CryptoPunk, which they didn't.
Yes,
Yeah.
they didn't own the first
Yeah,
place
so-
because they didn't have the private key.
Correct, and what they did was they just scammed somebody who actually thought that they bought a cheap CryptoPunk for half price.
Yeah.
Question number 2 by Doy Beans. Hello, what blockchains do you support?
Is it for me?
Well,
or-
that's also
I think it's for you.
Yeah, sadly,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
for me,
sure.
right? Yeah. So we are gonna support most of the blockchain protocols, especially right now, because we are in our private rounds. Whichever blockchain protocols want to give us grants, want to fund us, and so on, we'll definitely also want to build as a secondary layer on your blockchain itself.
So
Right.
your second layer solution or native to any blockchain right now?
We can be native to any blockchain, but yet we can also be a second layer solution on the blockchain.
Okay, perfect.
So one of the people asked, like Summers Stormo asked, what file format does EDFS support? So I think answer is very straightforward.
Yeah.
I can answer that. Any file system and any OS will answer this. already.
Right.
See, I'm listening.
Yeah.
Kasim Raja 12.
Wow.
He asked 3 questions. Question number 1: A. Many decentralized platforms face security issues.
Yes.
How secure is EDFS?
Simple. Firstly, it's on a kernel layer, so technically you need hackers that could actually know how to hack on the DOS level or on the kernel level of the OS. So, and that's currently getting rarer and rarer, and especially blockchain developers, they are mostly smart contract developers. Yeah, so or they copy blockchains of other blockchains and say that I'm a blockchain developer. So yeah, it's gonna be tough.
It's very low level, so I would say the number of people who can hack it are rare. Even those that can hack it will not have a cross section between smart contracts hacker and assembly programmers. It's very rare.
Yeah.
Very few.
So it's gonna be fun. Please don't do it, but yeah.
There's a bounty if you do it.
Yeah. So another one would be this, because the data will be stored locally on their device. So technically, then they need to go through another level. They need to hack every device that they want
Separately.
Separately.
Yes.
So which is messed up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not worth their effort, and
Yeah.
the bounty is not that much anyways.
Yeah, it's gonna be $5 or something like that. So.
The next question is for Dr. Marwan, because it was asking, how does EDFS is an impactful project for UAE? Yeah.
Look, I think EDFS and any project that is really creating new IP, I think Dubai is very interested in, and Dubai and the UAE always have been the incubator of innovation. And you guys being here, you guys being out of Dubai, out of our ecosystems here, you have a huge advantage for yourselves as well as for Dubai. You tying yourself with a huge heritage of projects and innovation and development that Dubai provides, as well as you have access to talent, connectivity to travel anywhere, mobility. You have good infrastructure, amazing talent pool, amazing licensing and regulation scheme as well that protects your rights as well as your investors. It's really a win-win solution for Dubai and any developer, not only EDFS, but EDFS can help the ecosystem as well.
Yeah.
So whenever we actually like people to come in here, not only for their own good, but also for creating the ecosystem around them, which is actually a value add for both themselves and Dubai in general.
Great. Thanks, Dr. Marwan. Another question here. Let me see. What is the significance of EDFS on NFTs?
Well, I just said it. Currently, most of our NFTs are vulnerable. For me, who have tons of NFT, I don't want to see it happen. I don't want somebody to right-click, copy my NFT, especially with the funds that I've invested, and they just take my NFT and or should I say just take my visual file, my audio file, and my videos, and then decide, hey, I can mint my own NFT, just make it look similar to Dunstan's, and that's it. Yeah. So whatever he placed there, I place a lower price. Yeah. So that messes up the ecosystem, and that is actually forgery. Yeah, which is something that has been a consistent problem in the digital space, right? Not just in the crypto space, but digital space itself. Yeah.
Okay. So the next question is very interesting. Let me read it out. It's quite a long question. By jhorn_blade27. What EDFS revenue model? In which way do you generate revenue or profit? So many projects just like to speak about the long-term vision and mission, but what are your short-term objectives? What are you focusing right now?
Wait, that's just way too
Yeah, I
many
know.
questions at one time.
Okay, let's deal with one first. What is the EDFS revenue model?
Yeah, so the EDFS revenue model is extremely simple. You want to use our service, use our tokens to pay for the service. How tough is that, right? But we are looking at this simple model because we believe that this tech is going to be used throughout most of the major layer 1 protocols, and even potentially some of the layer 2 protocols like Polygon Matic itself. So with that, right, it's just a simple revenue model would drive huge demand for our tokens and huge liquidity and transaction volume with that. Yeah.
Okay, I think you will actually answer about the revenue
Yes.
and profit.
Yes.
What about the short-term objectives?
So short-term objectives, Marwan, do you want to come out with some?
I think right now is partnerships
Yes.
with the projects. I think this is important. Again, also creating layer 2 is very important because you want, as the trend right now in the industry is a
Cross-chain.
platform, cross-chain kind of NFTs, which is, I think EDFS plays the right role with having layer 2 solution as well. End of the day, the value add right now, I think, and the quickest one for this kind of project is protecting the IP of the NFT itself, which is providing this encryption layer for each NFT, so it's not copied outside the fenced gate or in another community or gated platform.
So another question here. Tell us about the benefits of EDFS to real people. For example, the musician, the artist, your friends who want to protect his medical record data.
Oh, that's extremely simple, man. So you see, right, it encrypts your file. So technically, if I'm a creator, I'm an artist, I do not need to use platforms like Spotify. I can just create an NFT or even a file, like an audio file, and then when I encrypt it, what I can set parameters like the first 1,000 people can listen and stream my music video for free. But after that, the next set of people will start needing to pay me some form of royalty and so on for streaming my music video, for example. So that's a very good way where I can monetize if I'm a creator. So what's
I think the other question was like people who want to protect their own medical records,
simple,
for
right?
example.
Yeah. So if somebody tries to take your medical records and they do not have your private key, right, what they'll be getting is just a gibberish text file.
Because it's encrypted
Yeah,
already.
which is awesome, right? So like some James Bond level stuff cannot happen. Like say for example, a case study of what we did. There's a manufacturing plant, actually quite a few manufacturing plants. They are using our encryption tech. So when a person goes in, take a USB drive, put it in the robots of the manufacturing plant, thinking they can take out the programs of the robots so they can put it in their own factory. When they took the USB file out, they did take data out, and they took the program out actually. But when they put it in their robot, the robot just read gibberish text. So that the moment they got out of the original factory ecosystem, they couldn't use the data. So you see, right? So your medical data is extremely safe.
Great, I think that's
all these like scams and ransomware will not have any
pirated stuff, basically like those what we are looking at and we are concerned about in the future of NFTs. You know, people just right click and they are deploying other platforms.
Yeah.
And so many fake, you can't differentiate which is origination and a copy of the NFTs now in the space. I think that's my biggest concern.
The irony is like
Yeah.
blockchain came in to stop forgery.
It's supposed to stop that, but people are so smart,
Yeah.
and that is a misconception of why NFT is fungible in a way, and that is a very bad name for the whole industry. So I think we hope that with this tech coming into the space, you can actually solve this very, very important question, so the problem, so that you know the space can continue to the next level and scale the business and grow further.
Yeah, I think it's a good time, good place for this kind of technology. I think even though this technology has been tried for 15 years, this is an amazing application for it in the blockchain. And I think it serves a huge purpose in the NFT space, and it will be the catalyst actually for other ideas to come up where you can sell parts of something as open and parts of something that are unlockable content, which we have right now, but it's not implemented in the right mechanism in NFTs.
Because it's not safe.
It's not
So
safe,
even if
exactly.
they implement it, right, somebody else could do it similar.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So there's no more questions from the chat rooms or live chats? Okay, cool. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you for coming today, Dr. Marwan, and it's been a pleasure having you, sharing so much intel about things happening in UAE and Dubai.
Speaking of that, actually, we have a lot of events happening in Dubai. We have over 40 events happening in September and October, all the way to the end of October. And we have Expo here in Dubai as well, Expo 2020. Make sure you come to Dubai, make sure you check out the events. And if you can't make it to Dubai, there are a lot of these events that are virtually televised as well. So make sure you catch them on the virtual world.
Yeah.
Right. EDFS will be taking part in most of these events, especially the WOW Summit, Web3 Summit, the upcoming Future Blockchain Summit during the GITEX and FinTech Week. And I think in Malta as well in November, we are going to Malta, AIBC, organized by Iman Police and the team. So I think we have been looking forward to all these events, and thank you very much for joining us today, and keep in touch.
Yeah. Come and see us in all of these events.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Existing NFTs and decentralized storages do not have full lifecycle protection. Introducing EDFS, the unification of real-time security and convenience, sharing and privacy, openness and restriction. Protecting on-chain data with encrypted files for all digital assets. Full lifecycle authority of digital files in all formats. Rent, monetize, encrypt, distribute, share. Download the white paper and visit edfs.io to find out more. Existing NFTs and decentralized storages do not have full lifecycle protection. Introducing EDFS, the unification of real-time security and convenience, sharing and privacy, openness and restriction. Protecting on-chain data with encrypted files for all digital assets. Full lifecycle authority of digital files in all formats. Rent, monetize, encrypt, distribute, share. Download the white paper and visit edfs.io to find out more. Existing NFTs and decentralized storages do not have full lifecycle protection. Introducing EDFS, the unification of real-time security and convenience, sharing and privacy, openness and restriction. Protecting on-chain data with encrypted files for all digital assets. Full lifecycle authority of digital files in all formats. Rent, monetize, encrypt, distribute, share. Download the white paper and visit edfs.io to find out more. Existing NFTs and decentralized Existing NFTs and decentralized storages do not have full lifecycle protection. Introducing EDFS, the unification of real-time security and convenience, sharing and privacy, openness and restriction. Protecting on-chain data with encrypted files for all digital assets. Full lifecycle authority of digital files in all formats. Rent, monetize, encrypt, distribute, share. Download the white paper and visit edfs.io to find out more. Existing NFTs and decentralized storages do not have full lifecycle protection. Introducing EDFS, the unification of real-time security and convenience, sharing and privacy, openness and restriction. Protecting on-chain data with encrypted files for all digital assets. Full lifecycle authority of digital files in all formats. Rent, monetize, encrypt, distribute, share. Download the white paper and visit edfs.io to find out more.